Hello dear students, welcome to Tejamoy YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to explain some of the concepts from current electricity. So I have already done a few basic concepts explanation in the first video. This is the second video on current electricity. Okay, if you have not watched it, please go back and watch that video and come. Okay, so here in this video, I am going to explain Ohm's law, then resistance and resistivity. Secondly, thirdly, so conductance and conductivity, and then I am going to derive a relation between J called current density, sigma conductivity, rho it is resistivity. So I am going to derive the relation between these three parameters. Ultimately, I am going to derive an expression for sigma is equal to Ne squared divided by M, where sigma is what? Conductivity. Sigma is called conductivity. Okay, N is called number density, E charge of the electron. N is also called what is it? Number density of electrons or charges. Okay, E is called fundamental charge. So its value is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. And tau is the relaxation time that I have explained in the last video. And then we have M. M is called mass of the charge. Here it is electron, so mass of the electron. Okay, so this is one of the most important derivations in this chapter. This is the first derivation I am going to do in this chapter for 5 mark. Okay, this is very important for board examination. Second PUC science. Okay, especially in physics. Okay, so without wasting time, let us jump into the video. Okay, dear students, first I am going to explain Ohm's law. This is a very simple concept. Let us consider a conductor here. I have a conductor. Okay, so I have considered the big sized conductor. Then what I will do, I connect the two ends of the conductor to the battery. So this one is negative terminal of the battery, this one is positive terminal of the battery. So because of that, this battery maintains a potential difference of V between the terminals of the conductor, and that produces electric field in the conductor in this particular direction, because we have positive side this side and that produces electric field in this direction. So the charges present in it try to move in this particular direction, and when those charges move, they produce current. And you can measure that by using microammeter or milliammeter or just ammeter. Ammeter is a device used to measure current. Yes or no? So we can measure that current here. So now, since the positive terminal is this side, negative terminal is this side, we consider the charges. Positive charges move in this particular direction from positive to negative. Actually, the movement of positive charges is an illusion. Positive charges will not move, especially in the material. So if you consider this material consists of protons, neutrons and electrons. Protons are positively charged. Does the proton move through the material? No, because the proton is present inside the nucleus. How can you expect the proton to move? It will not move. But when the electron moves, it leaves the vacancy there. That is considered as positive charge. That is considered as positive charge or positive influence. So actual the particles move here inside the conductor are electrons. Positive charges will not move, but we consider the positive charges move opposite to negative charges. If negative charges are moving in this direction, positive charges are moving in this direction, like that. Opposite direction they move. Okay, so they will not move, but we consider they are moving. Okay, so when electrons move through the material, that produces current, and that we can measure. The current we can measure by using ammeter. One thing you have to observe: if I increase the potential given here, if I increase the potential applied across the ends of the conductor, what happens? The electric field increases, so that the charges move faster and increases the current, because we know I is equal to Q by T. If charges move faster, time taken by the charges decreases and increases the current. Okay, so therefore, if we increase potential, current increases. So how to state Ohm's law? What is Ohm's law now? This is the explanation. What is Ohm's law? The current through the conductor is directly proportional to potential difference applied across the terminals of the conductor. Let me write it here. The current through the conductor is equal to or is directly proportional to potential difference applied across the terminals of the conductor provided temperature and other physical quantities remains constant. Okay, so here we have the statement for Ohm's law. The current I through the conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference. What is that? V. If potential difference increases, current increases. So I is directly proportional to V provided the temperature and other physical quantities. Temperature and other physical quantities remains constant. Temperature of the conductor should not vary, and any other parameters like you should not bend it, you should not increase the length or area. You shouldn't do that. So those physical quantities and temperature won't change. Then I is directly proportional to V. So mathematically we can write I is directly proportional to V or V is directly proportional to I. Okay, and then if you remove this proportional sign, you will get V is equal to R into I. This R is called proportionality constant. What is that? Proportionality constant, and its name is resistance. Dear students, what do you mean by resistance? So when the charges move through the material, some materials won't easily allow the charges to move through the material. That opposition offered by the material for the flow of current or for the flow of charged particles inside the conductor is called resistance. I have already given the detailed explanation about resistance in the previous video. So if you have not watched it, so please go back and watch and come. Okay, so that you will understand what is this resistance mean. Okay, so V is equal to R. This is called Ohm's law. So here V is potential difference, R is resistance, and I is current. We know V is measured in volts, I is measured in ohms, and what is this constant? Resistance. So resistance is measured in, resistance is the opposition offered by the material for the flow of current, and its SI unit is ohm. Okay, so its unit is ohm. It is represented by ohms, like 2 ohms, 3 ohms, 4 ohms. Then what is the symbol that we use? So symbol to represent the resistor. Okay, symbol to represent resistor is this. Okay, like fixed resistance. In that also we have different types of resistors. Okay, so carbon resistors, wire bound resistors, and all. So we'll discuss about those resistors later. Okay, and color code of the resistors and all. Here, this is the symbol used to represent the fixed resistance of a resistor. Okay, if in case resistance of the resistor is varying, then we represent the resistance of the resistor like this. Okay, this represents the variable resistance. Means we can vary the resistance of the resistor. Okay, like 2 ohm, 3 ohm, 4 ohm, like that we can vary. So if not, we don't use this arrow mark. So this is all about Ohm's law, dear students. So you can expect numerical questions also based on or by using Ohm's law in board examination. So it is very important. Do remember this. V is equal to IR, V is equal to RI. R is constant called resistance, and it is constant for a given material. Now let us discuss about resistivity and resistance now, and what is the relation between resistance and resistivity. Okay, dear students, next we have resistance and resistivity. So before going to explain what exactly these two are, let me explain a concept here. So here we have a conductor. This conductor is having some free charges in it. Okay, so because of their random motion, they are not producing any current. But when I apply a battery to the ends of the conductor, what happens? The charges move in one particular direction because of the external electric field applied. Means they produce current that we have already learnt. So what is resistance here? So when these charges move through the material, okay, when the charges move through the material, okay, the materials, inside the material we have molecules, atoms and other particles, if you consider. So because of that, the electrons slow down. Okay, where if the electrons try to move fast, they can't go because of the collisions. The electrons will have to collide with all the molecules or the atoms or the kernels which are present inside the material. Therefore, they slow down. That opposition offered by the material for the flow of charges is called resistance. Let me write that here. The opposition offered by the material for the flow of current is called resistance. Okay. So the opposition offered by the material for the flow of current or charge particle, for the movement of charge particle, is called resistance. So it is represented by R. So from Ohm's law we know V is equal to IR. So therefore R is equal to V by I. So in other words, we can define resistance as it is a ratio of potential applied across the terminals of the conductor, potential difference applied across the terminals of the conductor to the current flowing through the conductor. It is the ratio of potential difference applied across the terminals of the conductor to the current flowing through the conductor. Okay, now this is all about the definition of resistance. Now, does this resistance vary? Yes, of course. It is dependent on temperature and physical quantities. Now let us discuss about those two topics here. Initially, if you consider the first point, that is temperature dependence on the physical quantities like length and area. So if I consider this is the area of cross section. What is this? This is called area of cross section, and length of the conductor is L. Okay. So if length increases, if the length of the conductor is so huge, resistance is also huge, because electron or the charge will have to travel longer distance, so that resistance is more. So R is directly proportional to L. Second thing, if thickness of the charge is more, resistance is less. If thickness of the conductor is more, resistance is less. If the thickness of the conductor is less, resistance is more. Means R is inversely proportional to area. If area increases, electron can easily move through the material, so that resistance is less. If thickness of the wire is very less, the electrons will have to move with some restrictions. So because of that, resistance increases. So inversely proportional. Combining these two, I can get R is directly proportional to length and inversely proportional to area. and remove this proportional sign, R is equal to rho L by A, where this rho is called resistivity and it is constant for a given material of any length and any area. So whatever the length of the conductor, whatever area of the conductor, resistivity will not vary, but from material to material it varies. Okay, so R is equal to rho L by A, so that is called resistivity. Now, what is the SI unit for resistance? SI unit for resistance is ohms. What is that? Ohms. Okay, so that is the resistance. Now, resistivity. How to define resistivity? We'll discuss about that later. What is the second factor on which the resistance of the conductor depends? That is temperature. Now, I write like this. Second one. Here only, right? Make it make it a second point. So this first point, this second point. So if temperature increases, resistance also increases. Means resistance of a material is directly proportional to temperature. Why? So if I plot a graph of temperature versus resistor, okay, if I plot a graph of temperature versus resistor, since R is directly proportional to temperature, so already let's consider the resistor is having some, the conductor is having some resistance. Okay, this part, let me consider this is R naught. If you increase temperature, resistance increases. So this is the graphical representation of R versus T. So it's already having some resistance. Okay, so if you increase the temperature of this material, so we already know this consists of large quantity of molecules or atoms, okay, or different substances if you can consider. So inside this we have electrons which are moving. If you increase heat, what happens? The charges move faster, the charged particles move faster, and they will have to collide with more times. They collide more times with atoms and their velocity decreases. When they collide more times, they lose their energy, and if they take they will have to take more time for acceleration, but because of the collisions, the acceleration decreases. So because of that, a slow down, resistance increases. So opposition increases because of increasing temperature. In simple way, if temperature increases, velocity of the charged particle increases and collisions increase. When collisions increase, opposition increases. When opposition increases, resistance increases. Okay, they are all interlinked like that. So do remember this thing. This is all about resistance. Now let us discuss about resistivity. So next we have resistivity. We already know this formula, dear students. R is equal to rho L by A. So can I write this one as, so rho is equal to, A will be multiplied this side, L will come this side. So R A divided by L. Yes, we can write like this. R is equal to, sorry, rho is equal to RA by L. Now, what is the SI unit of resistivity? So let us consider for resistance, the SI unit is ohm, area it is meter square divided by length is meters. So meter cancel out. So therefore, we left with what? Ohm meter. So the SI unit of resistivity, the SI unit or unit of resistivity is ohm meter. SI unit of resistivity is ohm meter. Okay, so how to define this? How to define resistivity? Let me take rho is equal to RA divided by L. If I take a material of area 1 meter square and length of 1 meter, okay, or just 1 unit, okay, 1 and 1. So therefore, rho will be equal to R. Rho will be equal to R. So resistance of a material is nothing but the resistance of the material having 1 unit length and 1 unit area. So resistivity of a material is the resistance of that material of 1 meter length and 1 meter square area or 1 unit square area. Okay, so that is called, what is that? Resistivity. Okay, so what is the SI unit for this? Ohm meter. Okay, this is all about this. Now I am going to derive the relation between conductivity, resistivity and current density. Before that, you need to know two more things, right? What is that? Resistivity and conductivity. Here we have resistivity. What is conductivity? Let me explain here itself. You need to know a few things, dear students. First thing, write down there in the note. J is called current density. That is nothing but I divided by A. J is called current density. That is the ratio of current per unit area. Means if you consider the area here per unit area, how much current is passing through that area? Okay, in a material, if you consider this is area, how much current is passing through that area? Okay, so that is called current per unit area. That is nothing but current density. J is called current density and its SI unit is ampere per meter square. Second thing, conductance. So it is the reciprocal of resistance. So where G is called conductance. Okay, conductance. So what is the SI unit for this conductance? It is per ohm or Siemens. We write like this: per ohm or Siemens. Opposite to what is this? Reciprocal of resistance. It is written like this: Siemens or what is that? Per ohm. Okay. Then we have third one, that is resistivity, and opposite to that, conductivity. It is represented by the sigma, by the symbol sigma. So sigma is equal to reciprocal of conductivity. Conductivity is equal to reciprocal of resistivity. Now, what is the SI unit for this? So since the resistivity is ohm meter, for this one it will be per ohm per meter. Means Siemens per meter. This is called Siemens per ohm. Okay, Siemens per meter or per ohm per meter, like that. So these are the few basic things that you should know to derive the next derivation. Okay, dear students, at last I am going to derive the expression for sigma, that is Ne squared tau divided by m. Okay, listen here. To derive this derivation, we need to know few basic formulae. So one is expression for current in terms of drift velocity, that is I is equal to NEA Vd, or in general we write it as VENA, means Vina, to remember that expression. So I is equal to Vina or NEA Vd, and Vd is called drift velocity, and I have derived the expression for drift velocity in the previous video. So that is E tau divided by m. Then current density, you know, so current density is nothing but current per area, and current density, one more formula that just I have derived, that is J is equal to sigma T. So by using this I am going to derive this. This is 5 mark, very important derivation. I will do like this. Okay, listen to this. Now we know that V means I and you. I know that, you know that, I know that, you know that. Okay, so therefore J is equal to current density. What is formula? I divided by A. Where what is I? I is nothing but current, NEAVD divided by A. So here AA and cancel out. So I have left with the current density formula. What is that? Current density J as J is equal to NEVD. Let me write it in blue pen because I am going to substitute the what is this value of VD here. So therefore that is equal to NEVD. VD is what? E tau divided by m is called VD. So J is equal to NE square tau into E divided by M. Yes or no? But you have to write few sentences here. So J is called current density, I is called current, A is called area of cross section of this wire. Okay, like that you have to write few sentences. It carries mass. Okay, J is equal to N is equal to E divided by M. Also, we know that J is equal to sigma into E. This one, where sigma is called conductivity, J is called current density, E is electric field. Substitute this one here. Therefore, J, comparing this equation 1 and 2. Okay, so comparing equation 1 and 2. So what do we get? We have J is equal to N square tau E. Okay, so that is J, let me write this one first. Okay, sigma into E is equal to this one, J, N E square tau E divided by M. Okay, now E will cancel out. You will get sigma is equal to N E square tau divided by M. Okay, so this is very important 5 mark derivation. Okay, do remember for 5 mark. Okay, so you have to get 5 marks. First you have to draw diagram and you have to write few sentences like consider a conductor for which the potential V is applied by using a battery, and because of this external electric field the charges move in one particular direction that produces current, and current density is given by I by A. We also know that I is equal to NEA VD, and VD is called what is that, drift velocity. Like this you have to write few sentences and at least you have to explain the terms that you have used in the derivation. Okay, in the formula what are the terms are there, if you explain, that gives the weightage and you will not lose any mark. Okay, so this is all about this video, dear students. Try to share it with your friends and tell them that I'm doing all this one and all. So if the number of views increases, I get motivated to do more videos, and in future days I will be making more such videos, very weightage videos, and I will solve the numericals also from all chapters which are very important for board examinations. Okay, so if you want any changes or if you want any more videos on a particular chapter, do let me know in the video comment section. So I will make more videos. So with this I am going to end this video. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.